Hi Killer, it's Neo here. I haven't watched your VOD yet, so we're just gonna watch it off the cuff and see what's up. I do like the Sigma pick on this map, and especially with the double builders being Torb and Symmetra, this should be good. I think we could, like even right here, just play a little bit further up, not necessarily like all the way up here, but just like right here, and just try and get some spam damage, and then as they get closer and you realize they have Doomfist, you can really fall back. The main thing I'm thinking as we're going against this Doomfist player is when we see him, we can try and counter his punch with our rock. So that's a pretty good counter that I would be considering to try and like hold rock for his punch. Or his block right there too. It's not bad, but I kind of want it when he engages. I like that you see the Mercy here and you go for her. It's very nice. And then I think right here, be cautious about you're kind of aiming like right up here and getting the splash down here. If you just aim in this room, you can get the direct splash damage. It's kind of like Junkrat, where it's like if it explodes right here, you get a lot of splash damage and there's a chance you hit a direct. So instead of aiming a little bit up, I think into this room would be good. So let's like right here. I just want it in the room instead. Like this is a good attempt too. This is a good time to try and rock the Doom. I don't mind this either because we took a lot of damage. But when we hear him engage right here, and we know he's behind us and charging a punch, I think this is a good chance for us to try and charge the rock. I know it's going to be hard for us to turn too quickly to him though. So I really do like this. I like that you see the Mercy. We have the audio cue that the cast is onto the back right, and he's just killed our Moira, so I kind of want to go turn and get him. It's also good because he really doesn't have enough mobility to bail him out here, and he's really overcommitted because we can see the Moira and we know the Mercy is with the Doomfist. So if we could really try and turn around and get this cast. Audio cues are very, very big in Overwatch, so make sure you're trying to follow up to them. But it's like right here, you can really hear him on the back right. You hear his footsteps. We also hear the Moira's footsteps now, also to the right. Luckily the cast died, but I want us to try and, I love the focus on the Mercy here. Very, very nice. I recall shield. So, especially with Sigma, but this is true with Ryan as well. It's just we really want to try and minimize the amount of time we're just holding shield up, or like we just have it out and it's not doing anything. We just want to try and have it for like if we are low, we can use it to try and bail ourselves out so our healers can heal us, so we aren't taking damage as our healers are trying to heal us. Or we can just use it to try and block very, very specific abilities, or like you could try and specifically block stickies, but then if the stickies land on your shield, you want to recall it so that way it doesn't take the explosion damage. So really try and think about like having your shield out in bursts. I'd much rather you call your shield back too quickly than have it break or have it out for too long. Because it takes even longer to recharge if you have it fully break. So like I wouldn't mind like a burst shield here. So that way if you just burst the shield out right here, you could try and take some shots on these people, and then you could recall it and you could take some damage and you could be falling back, and you could set out another burst over here and then get healed up again. So it's just like we're kind of using shield I want us to use shield as more of like an engagement tool. And I also want us to take a little bit more space. It's scarier against a Doom because he has such high mobility. But if we're like right here, it's very possible he starts committing his cooldowns onto us here, and we can fall back and put him in a little bit of a worse position because he's now used his cooldowns out in the middle. Versus if we're all the way back here, when he's using his cooldowns, he can also hit our other teammates like Symmetra or Moira. Yeah, we're a little bit far for a range. Beautiful kill on the Mercy. I like that we're seeing the Moira there. We think our range is a little bit further than it is, so I want you to just play a little bit closer than you think, and then that way you'll be hitting a little bit more shots. I don't mind this engagement. Sigma's very strong in rooms. I like this. When you see, I want us to pull the shield down right after here. Just call the shield down, and then you can start pushing forward, and then you can shield again if you're gonna actually fully commit and pushing to these people. And I honestly kind of suggest it because we're very, very strong in a tunnel. And with the full shield, so we could recall our shield, we could push right here, and then we could put another shield right here and completely nullify this high ground from them. Because if we have a shield exactly where my camera is right now, they're going to have to either commit into a room to us or back out, and they're probably going to back out, and then we can recall the shield and reset to the position where we have been, which is like further down here. But I want you to like scare them off of this high ground. I really, really think using shield as an engagement tool can be quite strong, because now our shield is about to completely break. Yeah, I want it to just be like you can follow it as it goes in and then recall it before it breaks. Very nice kill. They have a D.Va now. So the difference between D.Va and Doomfist is they serve similar purposes, as they're both dive tanks. So when they use their dive mobility, so when I was talking about Doomfist and you want to rock his punch, this is kind of similar with D.Va. When she uses her boosters, this is also a very good time for you to rock. And the rock ability also goes through her DM, which is something that I've joked about for like years. I thought about making a sign that like says like let D.Va eat rocks, because I think it's hilarious. So you could try and use your rock either when she's using her mobility to get into you. Her mobility to get out is also a very good time, because then you stop her disengage. Or if you feel like you're taking too much damage, you can even use it to stop the missiles. The rock against D.Va is very, very strong because it's an ability that she cannot mitigate. I really like here that you're still focused on shooting in the cart. I like that. That is very good. I like this. I want us to recall the shield. Nice. Very nice. I want us to ult here. So in early ultimate, especially with like a sig ult, a lot of people, especially at like slightly lower elos, they don't ult enough and they don't realize when they have like an ult advantage. So a lot of the times we talk about like what changes a fight from neutral to lost or neutral to won, and a lot of the times it's like, oh, DPS got a pick. But it can just be ultimates. Like if we just commit our ult early here, we are now in a fight where it's more likely we are going to win, because we're doing 50% of the D.Va's health to her. We're doing 100 damage to the Moira. We could be doing 100 damage to the enemy Echo. It's like now we're suddenly forcing out other abilities because everybody is at half health. And so that'll start kind of snowballing of like, oh, we still have cooldowns, and because I use this ult, it's going on. I find that like, especially if you build your ult quickly, you should use it quickly as well, because you have ults when the enemy doesn't. So we know the D.Va just switched, so she doesn't have hers. Obviously everybody else on the enemy team does, because they've been kind of in this little middle fight for a long time. But I think that we could have really looked for an ultimate like right here, trying to hit possibly the D.Va and the Mercy. It's a little bit less likely because she's in Valk. But this could also set us up to, you can stand on this ledge. I don't know if you knew this, but this could be in a pretty decent position. And it'll take a lot of pressure off of us because this D.Va is going straight into our face. This is all a nice try though.
Through hardships to the stars.
Fortunate thing about hybrid is when you lose a fight, it's really hard to retake.
Negative. In 3, 2, 1. Objective lost. Stop the pain.
Like this. Good job. It's okay. I really don't mind just constant rocks into the D.Va. It's a little bit better if you're canceling one of her cooldowns. This is very nice. You can weave in a melee right. It's like right before she flies, but a lot of the times like shoot melee is very good with Sigma. I still would focus the Echo because now she's, you know, she doesn't have fly. She did die. This is scary. So once we this door closing behind us, we need to back up. Like, it is just kind of scary in general to, like, we get caught out because it's just sort of unlucky with this door. So be very cautious about that because I think this just pushes forward naturally, so this will just automatically close. Like, this very short fight you can get with without this door closing, so just something good to know. You didn't get rezzed, did you? No, you don't have a res. Okay, it just took forever. Okay.
The conflict has found us.
Okay, so now on this point is very defense heavy, so we need to take the the reason why this point is defense sided is because this high ground is very, very strong for us. So I want us taking this high ground if we can, not necessarily for us in particular, but for our DPS to have it. It's a little bit less good with specifically Mei and Symmetra, but you're also denying their DPS this. Like, if we went up here, we could possibly catch this Cass out, and we could definitely kill him because both of his supports are on cart. So yeah, that I be sure to try and take this high ground when you do a retake. We can try and drop later, especially with the sim turrets here, but I really want us to make sure we have control of it. So I just did a Sigma video that was about like Sigma against specifically poke comps, and we've been running Sigma against a dive comp. So the main difference is that I think we need to be a little bit more reserved with our rock and partially our abilities too, because when this diva gets into our face, if she uses missiles, Suck is a very, very good ability for it. We can shield dance quite easily against her. And when we're against the Doomfist, the rock is a very, very strong stun ability that hits his hitbox kind of easily because he is a very big target. So I think so far we've been playing okay. I just really want us on this high ground. And then after this, I want us to try and end on the high ground at least behind us. It's a little bit unfortunate because we lost track of our shield, so we cast out our shield here, and we just left it here. So this is what I mean by I wanted to just be a burst, because I really like what you started to do, because you had the right concept of like shielding it out as you walked in, but then I want you to recall it so that way you can put it in front of you again. It's also unfortunate because you get caught on this pull, but it's something to just know for like, oh, next time if I play Midtown, I need to make sure I go under that before I go up, and then I can end on this high ground that's right above me. Because I want us in a range where we can also fire some shots while we're ulting. It's a good attempt. We need to fall back, and it's unfortunate we don't have like shield to help us as we fall back. Yeah, now we have full shield, so we just want to put it out for a bit, fall back, recall it, and then just keep going. Oh yeah, that's also another scenario we need to really weave in these melees for this extra damage. It's kind of hard. So Sigma's really a mid-range hero, and it can be kind of hard short range, and it's impossible long range because your orbs have a max distance. So when you're in a close range engagement like this, you want to shoot melee. If you hit this melee, he's dead. And that's how you win really close range engagements. And it's also, in close range engagements, shield dancing is very strong. So I would consider pushing up here. And what I mean by shield dancing is, so now that you have it out here, we can just go out, take some damage, come back in, get healed a bit, and then go back out here so we can make sure we keep pushing him. And then if he pushes us, we go back here. So ideally, you should be a little bit out further because he is going back into this room. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we, in short ranges, we really want, in like very, very close range, we want shoot, melee. And then in a little bit further, that's not, it's still like between short and mid, but it's not fully mid-range yet. We just want to make sure we can shield dance against an opponent like this. Because we can get this kill. Like, this kill in particular, we do a lot of damage with Sigma. And we need to recall our shield now too. Yeah, I think the best thing you could do to like instantly get better is use your shield with a bit more intention. So just have it like burst and then call back, and then that way you can have your shield up a lot more. Like that what you did right there, I want you to do that all the time. And like we could do it again here to our right. This is a good attempt. Yeah, we went a little bit far from the shield because of the mini. The truth is, with especially when we're playing tank, our supports are going to be looking at us a lot more, so we need to be a little bit aware of their LOS. I think our Moira ulted to try and save us, but when we went into that right corner, it was going to be a lot harder for her or a Baptiste to heal us. Luckily, our team won this fight. So now we should set up on the high ground. Because now what's funny is we completely switched. This person went from a Doomfist, which is a dive tank, to a Diva, who's also a dive tank, and now they're on Zarya, that's a Brawl tank. So the way you really beat Brawl, especially on Sigma, is high grounds. So if we go up here, and we are up here, we can try and get some, this is a very good range for us to shoot right down here, and get some pepper damage in, and then they feel like, oh, they have to go this way to come and pressure us. Ideally, our team should come with us. So we get some extra pressure down, but even if they don't, and as you see they're coming up really fast, we can just fall back to here, and then we can get some shots still here while we continue to fall back, and then we can go into the position we're in. Sigma is very like ebb and flow of we want to take as much possible space in the downtime in our setup phases, so that way we can give a lot of space in the fight. So instead of because that's kind of what poke is. It's just like, I'm going to keep poking you down as you try and get me, but that means I'm backing up. So when we're finally done with the fight, we need to take as much space as possible. So then when this next engagement comes, it's back. It's not that big a deal.
60 seconds.
Yeah, so just think about, like, if you were up here in this position, what could you force out? Obviously they've used a Moira orb, but what if you've killed this Mercy, you've caught her out a few times, you could probably catch her out again. You get her down to half health, you're forcing out, like, Moira resource, you could force out a Zarya bubble, you probably will, because she'll just see you and start bubbling. Probably force out echo stickies, and you can have shield and you have suck for those kinds of abilities. So it's just like, if you were up here, you could trade a lot of resources with them for just your primary fire, if not your some of your cooldowns as well. But it's just you versus now they're using a lot of their resources. Like, it's multiple people using resources to counter just you because you have splash damage. Yeah, especially on poke tanks, there's no downtime. Absolutely no downtime. I love your focus on the Mercy here. Very good. Shooting her in a room. Yeah, you can just keep pushing her in. That's unfortunate. What's funny is because I love do focus on the Mercy, they do kind of get this free high noon. But that's also, like, that's not necessarily your fault as much. Yeah, it would be nice to block it. It would have been nice if we were on this high ground as well, so he couldn't have gotten it in the first place. But our bashing was on that high ground and could have kept that space, or Symmetra could have been there too. Like, this is also a team game. We did need to be on that high ground, so he can't take it, but our bastion was on that high ground. Okay, next. So we're just a bit behind. Oh, we can catch this cast out. Nice try.
Actuating the barrier.
I want us... So with this in particular, I really want us to try and aim where they're going. I find a lot of times we're aiming at targets versus like where they're going to be. This is very nice. I look for an ult here. I honestly, right here, I would ult. I'd try and ult like right back here. And then when you see this is also a very tasty ult. We want to be worried about the Mercy res. Very good suck. Want us to take this space so Mercy can't res. because our shield is out right now and we forgot to recall it, having a shield out right here would be very good. So we need to be very a little bit more aware about when we have our shield out or not. And that comes with, like, if you get more used to just having burst shield of just like it's out and then back, you'll get better at that as well. We hear this Cass behind us still? He died. Okay. Cass is a very good target for you to punish because he only has roll to get out. Very nice try. We need our shield. Yeah. Oh, we have a sim shield. Beautiful. This is pretty good shots. Ooh, yeah, we needed a shield one more time there. Don't underestimate a high charge Zarya, especially with like a Moira pocket. It's gonna be very, very hard to kill her.
We will have peace at any cost.
I like the ram pick. I'd consider bursting Nemesis. By that I mean casting it, walking to about like right here and then ending it, because we get a movement speed bonus when we use Nemesis. And I want to end it early, so that way when we continue doing this walk, we can get Nemesis sooner, because it's like an 8-second cooldown or something like that. So I would consider bursting it and then ending it, so we just get that like quick speed boost. We want to engage even with the high noon because we have shield.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
I want us to get our slow field out. Like right about here, we can throw a slow field up here, so it's going to be harder for their ram to get us. Slow field is something you can just kind of use on cooldown. So even if you use Ravenous Vortex right here, this is also good. I like the shield, but we also want a Vortex. And we can also Vortex here, so it's harder for them to disengage. I will say, so what kind of happened on third is our team really didn't have a team fight. They kind of committed to a fight without you, and then the fight that you were there, your just team wasn't there, so it's just your whole team was kind of just staggered on third. So it was going to be hard for us to win regardless, because we never got a full grouped fight, versus when they cap, everybody gets close spawn, they all have this momentum of the payload. They also, when you're attacking, you also have payload healing. So all these little factors lead to a very easy time for them if the defense side has a ungrouped fight. Which is what it is. A lot of times teams give away second points because of that fact of ungrouped fights. So it's worse when it's third, but it happens a lot for like second points. Okay. Yeah, be cautious. So DM is a resource. So we really want to use this resource to not necessarily mitigate damage, but to create and like gain value with it. And by that I really mean space. So if we're going to use DM, I kind of want us either going to engage or disengage. And when I'm even me disengage, it can be in the middle of the fight while you're waiting to get boosters back. So I kind of want us to just continue down. I think we want to make sure that our healers have LOS, so you might want to just wait like a second, but then we could go. You don't necessarily have the boosters in, we could just walk at this point. And then the person we really, really want to collapse on, against this comp in particular, is Cass. I do think you had a slight audio cue about this echo, but I'm gonna say that we really didn't. Let's actually see if we did.
Defend objective A.
Yeah, we do right there. We have an audio cue about her. It's gonna be still hard to see, so I really want us kind of saving this DM. Like, we can wait right here until our team goes in, until we're ready, and then we can either like fly in through this window, land right here, and do a bunch of damage, and then if we take too much damage, we can just fall down, and we fall right here. and get healed up back by our team, and then we can boost back up if they're still here, and we can do more damage again. We really want to try and get either the Mercy or the Cast here because they are the easiest to kill. Out of, like, it's going to be very, very hard for us to chunk down a Rein, and it's going to be very, very hard for us in particular to kill a Moira. So that's what I want us doing here if we're against somebody who's playing on this high ground. This is good. We fully collapse on her. The second I hear her here, I want you turning around, boost on her. Boost on her because we want to get in our most effective range. And on a small, skinny target like Echo, that's right in her face. So we can land a bunch of headshots with our shotguns. So, and your boosters also do damage. So I would just like turn around, booster, headshot, headshot, headshot. Maybe even fully commit your micro missiles as well, because this kill, because she's positioned here, she cannot get rezzed. This is a guaranteed value kill if you get this. So full push, full send it, everything, commit to this kill. This is all okay. Yeah, I like this, using boosters again. So with D.Va in particular, we have like we're gonna go in, we're gonna do a burst amount of damage, and then we're gonna disengage, and we need to do that constantly. So when I was talking about this other high ground, that's what I wanted us to do really badly. I wanted us to go in, do a burst of damage, disengage, and then again go in, do a burst of damage, and then disengage. And then here, that's even what I want us to do. We could go up to make maybe this high ground, or we could be here, do a burst of damage, and then fall back over this way. A lot of this means I want us to, if the enemy's on the high ground, that means that we can fall to the low ground to get healed. If the enemy's on the low ground, then it's a little bit harder. We could just try and play natural cover to get healed. So if we engage right here, we can just fall back to over here. But that's what a dive tank really is. It's just like bursts of value. Nice. A good thing about D.Va against Reinhardt that I really want us to try and think about is when you see a fire strike, then you DM. Rein from a distance only gets ult charge from his fire strikes, so if you constantly eat his fire strikes, and just do it when you see it, don't try and predict it, and then do it, just eat that, so it's just like hit and then unhit. You could even just tap it, because we want to try and deny him ult charge as much as possible, because Shatter will be a very strong ultimate against our team. Oh, is using missiles? Yeah, so like right there, we could try and eat that, because that's 10% damage for him. We can also try and eat Moira orbs, and now that's another 10% damage for ult charge for him. Oh, he's using missiles again. Nice. So when we're in a close range like this, our boosters also do damage. It's very slight. It's like 25 damage, but it puts us in a range where we're going to hit more shotgun shots. So even right here, I just think about boosting into the Rein and trying to hit him at the same time, because we're getting just even extra damage into him. Nice. I just full send. We don't need to be. We have other people on the point. Getting this kill on the Moira. Moira is very, very hard to kill, and the fact we did this much damage to her, we can just fully commit, force out her orb, and as D.Va we can eat whatever orb she sends, and solidify this kill. So I want us. When you see people make mistakes, that's when you can start to capitalize. Right here, yes. I wanted us to do that a little bit sooner. It's nice because she used Wraith, but we could have forced her out her Wraith a little bit sooner, and our team could have committed on that as well. So that's really, dive tanks are so good at capitalizing at mistakes. And so the real thing you need to do as a dive tank is learn what a mistake looks like. So right here, what a mistake looks like is, where did he go? Is this Cassidy playing over here? His Rein's over there, his supports are over there. This Cassidy playing right here, that's a mistake. We can capitalize on this. Now he's playing a little bit further, so it's a bit harder. I like that. This Cassidy behind us, that's a mistake. We can capitalize on that. Our team's kind of lost this fight. So I really, really want us on this Cassidy. He's getting away with a lot. So from here, we can kind of take a high ground, and I think it would be extra good against this Ryan. We definitely know he is Shatter at this point, partially because I just looked up top right and he has it, but also because it's been a long time. So I really want us trying to stage like possibly up here, and we can get just a lot of damage on this Ryan, and all he can do is stare at us and shield. And then if we see like an ability be used by the supports, we can try and collapse on them. But it's kind of nice to set up on high ground, get your cooldowns back, and then instead of having to use your boosters to engage here and then not having them, we are up here, our cooldowns are reset, and we can just fall in, and then when we get too pressured, we can boost out. I want us using our missiles against the shield too, and I want us beating that fire strike. Definitely, if you're using DM to get a fire strike, it's never a mistake. Also here, the second you see this ult, I know we have no DM, just go into his face. I want you to fully booster into this man, because the second you do, there's also a boop factor into it, and you're going to boop him further back, so he's going to have less LOS on your team. It's fine if you get D-maxed, because also at this range, you can hit a lot of headshots on him. So our effective range is literally right in somebody's face. So we want to use our boosters to be in that range. Yeah, like this, but sooner. And then we also can do a melee here. Yeah, if you're not sure if you're going to hit these shots, don't be afraid to weave in a melee. This is fine. This is a complete waste of his ult. That's a complete waste of EMP. We should just die here. Fully die. Yeah. It's totally fine. We traded a lot of good ults on the enemy team for capping the point, and that's fantastic.
Yes.
Nice. Just you'll get used to the range of it, but if you use DM on fire strike, it's never a mistake. We just don't want to use. Obviously, we want to use it when it's right in our face, but yeah. So our team is really split right now. I like this-ish. Now we're kind of in a bad position. So what I said when I like this is I really like it's really this cast, and I'm specifically pointing out every time the cast because it's very easy for us to headshot him a lot. Based off of just how his hitbox is, and he only has one ability to get away from us, and that is roll. And we can eat all of his shots, we can eat his nade, and if we take too much damage, we can just boost out, and there's not too much he can do about it. So I really want us, when we see specifically a Cassidy in a semi-close range to us, just focus him down. Like right here, this is almost, it's a little bit harder because there's a Mercy Valk, but this is a very clean kill. Yeah, our team is also very split this fight. Okay, we want to wait for our soldier. This is all fine. I think we're engaged a little bit with our team here. This is okay. Yeah, I don't... Let me see. What the heck is our team doing? I can just hear them not being here, and we're not really getting too much value. I think these people are spending a lot of time trying to get the Sombra in the back. And so it's like, oh, maybe we could try and help with that, just so our team is actually going to push forward, because right now, it's like no one is going to follow up on our engagement. And that's been that way for a little while. So like we're engaged right here and our team isn't with us, and it is because of this Sombra. But But like, this is what I'm saying. Like, look at this cast. He's super tasty. If we can also, if we also come and turn around and help our teammate and the Somber recalls, she's recalling really far back. She's translocating. She's translocating really far back. So if we turn around and try and make sure our team actually goes with us and tries to help us here, we are forcing the Sombra out of the fight for a little bit because she's translocating really far back, and we can try and capitalize on mistakes like Cassidy playing very wide open, very, very far from his Rhine. So we need to boost out. Nice. See, like that's perfect what I'm talking about. We could have done that though with the help of our team, and then we would have taken less damage and our supports would get moral charge and stuff like that. I like to focus on the Mercy. You can also just melee right here, especially a nano melee. Right here, just also melee when you go in. I used to joke that the main difference between like a gold player and a diamond player is how much they melee. It's not necessarily true, but I think a lot of people underestimate how much 30 burst damage can be. Yeah, every single fire strike I want gone. Nice. Yeah. Sucks you aren't getting healed here, it's taking forever. This is good. I want us pushing up a little bit, but we're only one on point now, so it's fine. Yeah, rocket him sooner. Like, all of our cooldowns on D.Va are very, very short. It's very nice for it. So when we see this, we can just start rockets in his face so we can start chunking down this armor. And then if he gets too close, we can boost out. Or boost. I would really boost vertically in this case. But yeah, this would have done a lot. And then we can, I want boosting in their face. I want boosters in face gameplay. Yes, this is that nice. You can also eat that heal orb. That'd be very good. Because they're getting, look at how much value they got off of that. Very nice. We know the Moira's still behind this. Very nice. Nice. And then when we see this Rhine, I want us shooting our micro missiles at him. Yeah, we would have fully gotten them back by now as well. Nice. This Mercy might try and res. You can hear clip clops. Okay, good. I like where you are right here. We can eat that damage orb. Don't be afraid to use DM to just also like burst take something. So most of the time I'm saying Fire Strike, but Moira orb, either healing or damage is also very good to just like very, very quickly get. We can play aggressively here because we have ult. It's fine. We've lost this fight though. So this is going to be very hard for us to push into when they have Rhine ult, so this should be interesting. I think that way's a little bit longer, but it's fine. Nice. That's a little bit too much DM. That was way too much DM actually. So we hear this cast up top right. That's in this play. He's playing in very, very aggressive positions and he's not getting punished for it, and we are the punisher. Okay. Nice. Oh my gosh, nice. I like that you're playing back here, trying to take less damage. I don't mind all the PM there. I think we... Oh, okay. This is all fine so far. Because there's not much more you can do. This is a very tough situation. Shoot lamp. Nice. Very nice. Very good stall, very good job playing behind the payload, using it as natural cover. Okay, we know that's there. I would just leave that there. We can leave it there because then we know where she's gonna go. Need melee. Nice. That was a very, very good stall from you. Like, very smart using the payload to heal you, using the natural cover, not getting too aggro when we got nanoed. Making sure we solidified kills. Very good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
This is fine. This is unfortunate that our sim got cut out there. I like where you're playing. And then I want us to, go back to this position when we can, to where we were, because we don't want an even fight against our brawl tank. We want a high ground fight against the brawl tank, so that way we can always try and drop in, and then we can boost out to our position. So after we, like,
Neutralizing projectiles.
kind of like right here, I want us just boosting back up, because this beam is going to be very annoying for us. Yeah, there's a lot of targets there. I'm trying to think, we could have, I don't know if we in particular could have saved this sim, I don't really think so. We could have maybe eaten that damage, but it's just unfortunate she got caught out. So this is fine, but when we see her get a little bit higher charged, I just want us going back. This is still fine, we're not that low. And now that they've taken this space, going back up to this high ground is going to be hard because we're still going to really be in their LOS. So if things get too dicey, we're going to fall back all the way over here, if not a little bit further than that. Because we want bursts of strong, high damage output. Mostly this is going to be on the Bastion or the Hanzo. Bastion's on wheels though, which is scary for us. That's still scary for us because we're in Divas, so we can eat a lot of his damage, but that costs a lot of our resource for this. This Hanzo, out of position. Easy capitalize. Nice. It's unfortunate that they, like, so charge. So this is just kind of peppering us down too much. We need our Ana to be in a better position. Yeah, a lot of people tunneled on that sleep. I think we could have tried to capitalize on that even before she landed the sleep, because we did see the Hanzo was there. But this is kind of, an unfortunate scenario where they were traveling as a death ball in Brawl, and our team wasn't able to kite back enough in time. It's not necessarily your fault, but it is rough. So I like what you were thinking here, and I think, in all honesty, we need to make sure we're taking a full engage. So we do have 5 here, but when we see Bastion on wheels, I don't really even want to commit cooldowns to him. So unfortunately, because he just started to push out, I just want us to pull shield and then just stand here. Just wait. Don't forget you can also block in this form. It's a little bit less relevant right now, but still good. I want us throwing out slow field a lot more. That was a good attempt. I want shield first. So with Ramantra in particular, we want to, the way we maximize our uptime is we use our shield for as much as possible. We try and get out at least one full clip of our nanite damage, and then we Nemesis because our shield is on cooldown, so we're not getting as much value out of it. And then after Nemesis, we have to wait like 1-2 seconds, and then we have shield again. So we can just kind of repeat that process of like shield, Nemesis, and then go in between those two things. And then that whole time, slow field just as much on cooldown because it's going to be harder for them to push into you. And it's also harder for them to run away from you. So don't be afraid to pop Nemesis right here and just run the full thing. We need to regroup as a team, but I kind of like trying to help our DPS out here. Be very cautious of peeking because I think I'm not for sure that our healers are back. Our supports, they're still coming back, so this is a little bit of a scary engage, but I do like trying to help these turrets, so we could try and shield right in front of this cart, so it's a little bit harder for these turrets. This is still fine. This is a good shield. We need a slow field as well all the way in the back, so I'm gonna slow field here. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that. So if we just get in this extra, so think of like Soulfield as, it serves several purposes, but the biggest thing it does is build us more ult charge, because we're just, it's kind of like mass damage. It's just like a lot of damage, a little damage on a bunch of other people. So when we're doing that, we're building a lot of ult charge. So if we just had it constantly in cooldown, we'd probably have our ult right now. So another thing about Ramantra ult, we still want to make sure we shield, try and get out a full clip. Then we go into Nemesis, and then as our Nemesis armor runs out, we pop ult. So that is the order we want to do that when we have ult. So like shield here, get more damage into Zarya. Isn't too bad, but I'm just slow field. So the slow field is going to be harder for them to get out of our ult. Also, when Zarya is super high charge, don't be afraid to right click. Or not right click, but you know, block. It's good. I think of all the heroes I've seen you play, the best one I've seen is definitely Sigma. I feel like you have a slight disconnect with D.Va's like ideal playstyle, but I do think that this is very usable. So when we see this Bastion, we can commit resources to him to push, but I think it's a little bit better to just wait it out. If we just wait this ability, it's a much freer engage, and we know it's on cooldown, so it's not like it's gonna be a surprise. So yes, this is very good at capitalizing on someone out of position, but we committed a little bit too hard, I think. It's fine though, because our Kiriko helped us. This is good. Yeah, don't be afraid right here, in particular, to your micro missiles do splash damage. So right here, as soon as it gets off of cooldown, we can kind of use it, and it'll splash damage the soldier off of this high ground. Very good eat. We need to punish the Mercy. Very good. That's a very good recognition of a mistake on the enemy team and capitalizing on it. We can also, yeah, I want us using our boosters, especially when we're in that close range of a fight, because this will kind of, they'll knock them back and it's a little bit disorienting. This is fine. We need to fully back up behind cover. Boost out. Beautiful. Yep, we do not want to take that fight. So we could try and get some, like, micro missile damage onto the Rhine here. I'm gonna be careful about using all our DM. I'm very glad we didn't. There is the Bastion ult, or Bastion on wheels. We just don't even peek him. Just go back to the pillar you were hiding behind. This is fine. We can throw our micro missiles into the shield. They'll do a lot of damage. And we want to make sure we eat those fire strikes. Yeah, especially watching this, you can see how much value the Rhine fire strikes have gotten. I like this. We want to break shield. Nice. He ulted. Nice. So if we were slamming micro missiles into the shield sooner, like here-ish, we could have probably done it again before this, and this shield would be broken. It sucks that we also wasted mana there. Sure. So I'm trying to think about anything in specific conclusion. I do think that No, I don't think I have anything super in particular. I do think generally you played fairly decently. I think there's like a slight I feel like you play a lot of heroes, and I kind of want you to hone in on one in particular, and kind of just stay there. I know a lot of people talk about like, oh, I hate takes who OTP, and I feel like tank is like rock, paper, scissors, but in the reality, it's if you're good at what you do and you have a strong understanding of how to play against your counters, how to just constantly get value with one character, you're gonna climb. And I do think that even as you learn about, oh, I've learned about the interaction between Zarya and Sigma, I know I want to hold rock for this, I know that if I blast through her 2 bubbles it's much easier to kill her, and if I bubble track it's fine, and if I make sure I shield dance when I'm in close range against her, then I can do this. Then it's like, oh, if you do feel like picking up Zarya, you're like, well, I know how to play Zarya against Sigma because I know how to play Sigma against Zarya and I understand that interaction. That's when it kind of gets a little bit more further and in depth and stuff. And I want you to just default to one hero a little bit more. I think specifically Sigma definitely looked the best, but I do think Ramatra is very strong right now, so that's also fine. But if you are gonna play Ramatra, make sure you're doing some of those things, like always have slow field out, shield, nemesis, and just get into that cycle of like, okay, I can hold space when I use shield, I can take space when I use nemesis, and then I need to fall back when nemesis is over, and then I can hold space again while I use shield. And kind of get in that cycle if you want to play Sigma. If you want to play Diva, it's find mistakes, capitalize on mistakes. Think about which hero on the enemy team is the most diveable, is the hardest one to get away. Looking at this comp we're looking at right now, if we were against this on Diva, that Hanzo is ours. Every time. That Hanzo, gone. If he's going to play up there, he's gone. If the Bastion has already used wheels, he's gone. If the Mercy Guardian's too far and she goes past and in front of our face, she's gone. It's just stuff like that. Like, I think I did see like really bursts of you starting to do that, of like, oh, this is a mistake. They're dead. Especially at the end. But I want to see that a little bit more. Of like, okay, this guy's alone on the high ground. That's a mistake. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and yeah, bye.